Most of what I believed about God at 40 was wrong. Not evil, not foolish, just incomplete. My name is Samuel. I am 81 years old. I spent most of my life thinking that faith was about getting things right. Right beliefs, right behavior, right prayers. I believed that if I stayed faithful long enough, God would reward certainty. Life taught me otherwise. I did not lose my faith when things went well. I lost pieces of it slowly when life became complicated, when prayer did not change outcomes, when loss arrived without explanation, when waiting became longer than answers. And that is when I learned something I wish I had understood earlier. God does not wait for you to have perfect faith before he draws near. He waits for you to stop pretending you understand everything. That lesson did not come to me in church. It came through time, through mistakes, through loss, through silence, and it changed how I see God forever. When I was young, I believed faith was something you built upward, like a structure, brick by brick, knowledge, discipline, effort. I believed the stronger my understanding became, the closer I would be to God. But life has a way of shaking what we build. As the years passed, I experienced moments that did not fit neatly into my beliefs. People I prayed for did not recover. Plans I trusted in fell apart. Doors I believed God would open remained closed. At first, I tried harder. I prayed longer. I studied more. I corrected myself more often. I thought faith meant doubling down, but that only made me tired. I remember a season in my late 50s when nothing seemed to move forward. Work was uncertain. Relationships were strained. My health was no longer reliable, and my prayers felt repetitive, like I was saying the same words into the same silence. That silence troubled me more than suffering ever did. I believed God spoke clearly to faithful people, and when he did not speak, I assumed I was doing something wrong. That assumption stayed with me for many years. There is a passage in Scripture that speaks about trusting the Lord with all your heart and not leaning on your own understanding. I memorized it early in life. I quoted it often, but I misunderstood it. I thought it meant understanding would eventually arrive. What it really meant was that faith sometimes requires releasing the need to understand. That truth took me decades to accept. I spent many years believing God was waiting on me, waiting for me to grow stronger, smarter, more faithful, more certain. What I see now is that God was waiting for something else entirely. He was waiting for honesty. Not honesty about sin alone, honesty about limits, about fear, about confusion, about grief, about not knowing what comes next. The older I became, the more I realized that certainty had made me rigid, and rigidity had made me distant. I defended my beliefs well, but I did not always live gently. God did not take away my faith. He refined it. He removed what was unnecessary. He softened what was harsh. He replaced confidence in answers with confidence in his presence. There came a time in my early 70s when I stopped trying to explain God. I stopped trying to tie everything together. I allowed Scripture to speak without forcing it to resolve my questions. That was when peace returned. Not the kind of peace that removes difficulty, the kind that allows you to remain steady while difficulty remains. I began to notice God differently, not in dramatic moments, but in ordinary ones, in quiet mornings. In patience I did not manufacture, in restraint where anger once lived. Faith became less about what I believed and more about how I lived. Scripture no longer felt like instruction alone, it felt like companionship. A steady voice reminding me that God walks with his people rather than standing apart from them. There is a verse that speaks about God being near to those who are humble in spirit. I once believed humility meant weakness. I now understand it means openness, open hands, open heart, open expectations. The more open I became, the more God felt present, not louder, not clearer, present. I no longer rushed prayer. I no longer measured faith by outcomes. I learned to sit quietly and allow trust to grow slowly. Looking back now, I see how much time I spent resisting this lesson. I believed maturity meant having answers. It turns out maturity means living well without them. That is why I say do not wait too long to learn this about God. Do not wait until life strips things away before you loosen your grip on certainty. Do not wait until loss teaches you what humility could have taught you gently. Do not wait until exhaustion forces you to rest in God rather than strive for him. God is not impressed by certainty. He is moved by trust, trust that remains even when understanding fades. Faith that lasts is not loud. It is steady. If you are younger than I am, and you feel pressure to have everything figured out, I want you to know something. God is not asking you to solve him. He is asking you to walk with him. If you are older and you feel tired of trying to be strong, I want you to know this as well. You are not late. You are learning exactly when you need to. Faith grows quieter as it grows deeper. I no longer try to explain God to others the way I once did. I try to live in a way that reflects his patience, his mercy, his steadiness. That is the lesson it took me most of my life to learn. God does not draw near when you become certain. He draws near when you become honest, and that nearness is enough. Before I finish, I want to leave you with a simple blessing. May the Lord meet you where you are. May he release you from the weight of needing to understand everything. May your faith grow steady and gentle. And may you discover that walking with God is simpler than you feared. Thank you for listening. I am grateful to share this with you, and if you return again, you will always be welcome here.